welcome to Zigmag Tech Learning Hub. I'll be your instructor for home economics. Now for this class, we're going to be taking our exercises from the ExamGuide app. If you don't have the application already installed on your device, I would want you to download that app in order to follow along in our class. Now, ExamGuide is a leading educational app that helps students prepare for various exams such as UTME, post-UTME, WEAC, GCE, KCPE, IJMB, JUPEB, Versa, GSE, NCE, NECO, and a whole lot of other professional exams. Now you can download the app from www.examguide.com, or you can actually go to Google Play Store and download it. Now, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you can be updated when we send in new videos. And you can also tell your friends about this app so they can also benefit from it. Now, you ready for today's class? Let's get started. Welcome back again. So we're still continuing from the structures, parts, and functions of the human body, the part 2. So from where we stopped, we're continuing from there. Now we're starting with, let's say by the end of this class, you should be able to define ear, teeth, skin, hands, fingers, nails, and feet. And also you should be able to state the structure and the functions of the following: the ear, teeth, skin, hands, fingers, nails, and feet. So all these and more would you be getting as we progress in today's class. So pay attention. Now we'll be starting with the ear. We'll start with the ear. What is the ear? This thing we have, what is it all about? Now let's look at what the ear is. Now the ear is one of the 5 sense organs of the body. It is used for hearing and balance. You know, it helps us detect where there's a sound, what the next move is. We get all those signals with our ears. Now, it is external, it's outside, and then we can see it for each person, and then we have 2 of these for each individual. Now, the ear is very sensitive as well. Just as we said, it's one of the 5 sense organs, so it's very, very sensitive and should be taken with proper care. You don't put things into your ears and then just become careless, or just be careless with your ears. You have to be very, very, very careful when it comes to the ear because it's sensitive as well. Now, the structure of the ear. Now, the ear is divided into 3 parts: the outer, the middle, and the inner ear. Now, the outer part is this one we can see, the ears that we can see, pick sounds and vibrations, and then it is carried to the eardrum, and now, which is between the outer ear and the middle ear. Now, a whole lot happens in the middle ear and the inner ear. These also gets their from the outer ear, they get all that they need to function well. So you need to be very careful as what is put into the ear, not to cause obstruction and to cause ill effects to what happens inside the inner ear. Now, what is the function of the ear? The first thing that we should know about the ear is that it aids our hearing. Without our ears, we can't hear. So it is one sense organ that helps us to do what? To hear, to be sensitive. Something is happening, you're able to know what is happening, to hear sound and all of that with your ear. And it helps us to maintain balance. The ear helps us to maintain balance. It also detects and analyzes sounds around us. So that's what happens. When something happens, your ears, the first that gets the signal that something is happening around you and keeps that balance, just like we said. Now we're looking at the teeth as another organ of the body. Now, it's part of the body, which is very important as well. Now, let's look at what the teeth is all about. Now, the teeth is very important to an individual. It affects the health and the appearance as well. Now, someone's appearance can be affected with the set of their teeth. Now, the teeth is useful for chewing, for mastication. It helps us to masticate our food properly. Now, when the teeth is neglected, you don't take care of your teeth. You just leave them anyhow with no proper care. What happens? They become affected. Now, this can result to ill health or, bad breath, mouth odor, and some infections that can actually be dangerous to our health. Now, for growing children, they have the temporal tooth, okay, which is 24 in number, and as they progress in age, they tend to lose that, and the right or normal dentition for a grown adult is 32. So you need to take proper care of your teeth. Pay attention. At least, by the time we proceed to the care and care of the body, we'll look at how to care for the teeth, but the teeth is very important. It tells a whole lot about your personality as well. When someone sees you, they should be able to know that this person is neat and this person is not, because of the teeth. Let's say, per se, the color and all of that, because you've not actually paid proper attention to taking care of the teeth. Now, the structure of the teeth, what the teeth looks like. Now, we're going to look at some of them, but this is what the tooth looks like. Looking at the tooth anatomy here, we have the enamel, the dentin, the pulp, the gums, the bone, the root canal, the nerves and blood vessels, the crown, and the root. Now, when you look at your teeth, this is what it looks like before you can see them. So this is what your tooth looks like. That's the structure of the teeth. Now, let's look at some of the parts or the structure of them broken down. Now, the crown. This part of the tooth is projecting. It projects just above the gum. That's where the crown is. Then the root, this part is buried in the jaw bone. Then for the neck, there's the space between the crown and the root. Let's look at the dentin also. It's the top center of the tooth which surrounds and protects the pulp cavity, while the pulp contains the blood vessels and the nerves. Then the enamel is a very hard substance which covers the crown of the tooth. Now let's look at the types of tooths and their functions. The incisors. These are the center of the front jaw. They are at the center of the front jaw, and they are used for cutting off lumps of food. This part helps us to cut off lumps. When you're eating and you're able to cut, this is what the incisors do. It helps us to do what? Cut food when we eat them. And they are located at the center of the front of the jaw when we open our mouth. Now, the next one is the canine. These are beside the incisors. They are used for tearing foods. We use them to tear foods whenever we want to get a whole large chunk of food or something that needs us to actually cut. So it's used for tearing. Most people refer to this as the dog teeth because it's mostly found in dogs as well. So that's the canine. It helps us to tear our food. The next one is the premolars. Premolars. And they're often next to the canine as well. Now, it also helps to cut food. And then, the flat surfaces, they help us to grind food easily. It helps us to grind our food so we can actually swallow them easily. That's what the premolars, they help us to ground our food so we can swallow them easily, masticated into our system. Now, these are the molars. Is also a part of the teeth. Now, they are behind the premolars. They actually do the same thing. Like the molars and the premolars are almost like the same thing. They carry out the same function, and you don't get to have this until your set of teeth are complete. Like when you have your permanent dentition, that's where you find your molars. Let's move on to the skin. Let's look at another part of the body, the skin. Now, the skin is a thin layer of tissue. It's divided into two, the dermis and the epidermis. Now, it's a natural covering that covers the body of a human or animals. Now, there's a whole lot inside the body. Now, the skin helps to cover that. So it is an external part of our body. It's an outer part that covers the body of a person or animals. Now, the structure of the skin. Now, looking at the picture we have here, it tells us all that the skin is made up of. Now, before you see that there's a skin, there's a whole lot, from the capillaries, the sweat gland, the muscle, the fats, collagen, and then the sebaceous tissue, the dermis, nerves, and all of these. All these are the structure, the components of what? The skin. Before you see the skin, all these are what it comprises of. Now, let's look at the functions of the skin. Number one, it protects the body from bacterial infection. The skin protects the body from bacterial infection, germs. Now, that's poor weather and injury. Whatever happens, the skin, like we said, is a covering. So it doesn't allow whatever should have gone into the body to cause harm. It ends on the skin. So it protects the body from bacterial infection, germs, poor weather, and injury. Just imagine if we didn't have skin and the body is just opened. There will be a whole lot of infections and a whole lot going around into the body. So the skin serves what? As a protection to the body. And also it helps the body to get rid of waste products through sweating. Now, when we sweat, we're getting rid of waste products, and it's achieved through the skin. It helps us to do what? As we sweat, we take out waste from the body through the skin. Now, the next one we have is it helps the body temperature, to keep the body temperature normal. It helps to keep the body temperature normal. Our skin helps to keep body temperature normal. So for every time, for every weather, it accommodates it and works alongside with what the weather that shows up. Whether it's the cold weather, whether the weather is hot, it helps balances the body temperature. Another function of the skin is that it also keeps the body warm in cold weather. Yes, it keeps the body warm. It keeps warmth to the body. Another thing is that when the sun, touches the skin, it produces vitamin D. So it helps keep the skin healthy as well. Now, the skin is a whole package, and we need to take care of our skin as well. We need to do some things to keep the skin very, very healthy. So we're going to proceed to the different types of skins. Maybe you should be able to know the type of skin that you have. So there are different types of skin, and this will help you to know the type of products as well that you need to apply on your skin. So let's move on to the types of skin. The first one we have here is the normal skin. Normal skin. Here, there's no much issue with your skin. It is blemish-free, it is spot-free, it is clear, it is smooth, it is soft, This skin can be likened to that of babies, Baby skins are so soft, it's spotless, it's blemish-free. So in the course of growing up, most persons actually maintain this from childhood, and then they tend to grow up to adulthood, and their skin is what? It's smooth and normal by what they eat, being conscious of what they eat, their diet, therapy, the things they let go into the body, because all these are things that would affect the skin as well. So for this type of skin, for your skin to be said to be normal, it is free of spots, it's free of blemishes, and it is soft, clear, and smooth. Now the next type of skin we have is the dry skin. Now this is usually thin, sensitive, and it wrinkles easily. Most times on our face we find that type of skin. Some persons is hereditary. Naturally, they are dry skin. But sometimes it can be cause of loss of diet and some nutrients in the body. And then sometimes the weather as well can actually cause dry skin. But a whole lot of moisture and being hydrated most of the time can actually curb these dry effects on the skin. So another type of skin is the dry skin. The next one we have is the oily skin. Now, these people are, the oil glands are produced in high oil. It's very active. It produces too much oil and they're always very oily. Most of these people don't even have to apply cream on their face. They're good to go. I know a whole lot of people that they don't even apply cream on their face or their body. They are good to go because the oil gland in their system or body produces enough oil for them to get along. So those persons can be referred to as to be said to have what? Oily skin. And these persons too they would have to know the type of cream to take, unlike the persons with dry skin that would have to go for moisturizers. These people do not need moisturizers to keep their skin oily because naturally it is what? Oily. The next one we have is combination skin. Yes, we have combination skin. Now, it has some parts of the skin oily, some parts dry, basically on the face, and some parts of the body. Now, some persons, they tell you, my face is oily, but my skin is dry. Some will say, my skin is dry, but my face is oily. Now, that's a combination type of skin. You have both oily and then you have the dry skin as well. So here you should be able to manage yourself by not having too much of the moisturizers and balance your diet and be more hydrated to be able to balance this type of skin. So I'm sure you're taking note of the type of skin type you have. So the next time you're going to be getting creams for yourself, you won't have to worry about the type of skin you have. So you should be able to know if you have the oily type of skin, the dry skin, the combination skin, or oily or greasy skin. Let's move on to another part of the body, which is the hands, fingers, nails, and feet. Like we said, we started from the top to the bottom. So we're starting from the top. We've looked at other parts of the body. So right now we're looking at the hands, fingers, nails, and feet. Now, the hands, fingers, nails, and feet are very important parts of our body as well. They're very, very important. And now we need to take very proper care of them because our hands are what goes into our mouth. And if they're not healthy, we can actually put in germs through what is in our hands. Just imagine your fingernails are not clean and then you pick up something to eat and you put it into your mouth. What you have done is that you've actually taken germs into your mouth because your hands are not clean. So they are very sensitive parts, our hands and our fingernails, and they need to be taken care of properly because they go into our mouths. Now, the hands too, it's very, very, very effective and functional because it helps us do a lot of things from movement of one item to the other. So you need to take proper care of it as well. Now the legs are in close contact to the ground. We walk with our leg, we walk with our feet. So if you are not careful, dust and dirt can actually infect our skin through our nails and our feet. So because they come in contact with what? Germs regularly. A lot of us don't even like putting on our footwears. We just go about with our legs, and then maybe you're on your bed, everywhere with that. So you need to take proper care of your hands, your fingers, your nails, and your feet. At least you can cream. Just remember what we said earlier, good grooming. This covers every part, how to take care of your body to look good and look attractive. To take care of your nails, don't just leave your nails anyhow. And some of the nails are looking so black in with dirt all in it, and then you're not paying cognizance to that. So it's important that you take care of this, because these are the easy access to what? Germs that we can actually take into our body to contaminate our body. Now, the structure of the hands, nails, and feet. The hands and the feet are parts of the upper and lower limbs here. So the hand starts from the wrist. It's made up of the palm, the fingers, the nails. Yes. Okay. So when we talk of the hands, it comprises of what? Your palm, the fingers, and what? Your nails. So take note of this. Then the leg starts from the ankle, and it consists of the heel, the sole, the toes, and your nails. That's what the leg comprises of. That's where it starts from. So all of these, you find your heel there, you find the sole, you find your toes, and then your nails there. So they need to be taken care of properly. Now, let's look at the functions of the hands and feet. Let's look at what they do and how we can actually take proper care of them. Now, the hands and fingers are used for touching things. It helps us to touch things. If your hands are not there, you can touch, you can feel some things. So the hand is very, very important, because it helps us to do what? Feel things. It helps us to touch and know what something is exactly. So your hands can actually is an organ whereby you can actually touch and know what is there even without seeing it most times. Another function of the hands and feet is that they are also used for carrying out different types of work. Our hands helps us to do what? Carry out some work. We can wash, we can, do a lot of activities with our hands, knead, cook, and sew with our hands. So there's a lot of work to do with our hands. It helps us to carry out this effect. Then the legs gives us support. Our legs, it gives us support. It gives us balance. Then the legs are used for walking about as well. We use our legs to walk from one point to the other. And also, the legs can perform very useful activities such as playing, dancing, jumping, running, walking, a whole lot of these things. So that's what the legs can do. So you need to take proper care of it. Just imagine that you're not paying attention to your feet or your leg, and if there's an injury, what happens? You will not be able to make use of it. So you have to pay attention. You have to take proper care of your feet and your legs. Okay, let's get to the ExamGuide app and practice some questions based on what you've learned today. Okay, let's get started. Okay, bleeding gums and difficulty in healing of wounds is caused by deficiency of vitamin. We have vitamin A, vitamin K, vitamin C, vitamin D, and vitamin E. So the right answer for that question is vitamin C. So when you have bleeding gums, it's because there's a lack of vitamin C. Okay, let's look at this question. Which of these is the best item for cleaning the ear? A, we have the cotton board, we have matchstick, we have biro cover, we have a knitting pin, then we have fingertip. So which of these is best to clean your ear? We talked about the ear being very sensitive. So what should you use when cleaning the ear? Should you use matchstick? Should you use biro cover? Should you use knitting pin? Should you use fingertip? Now, most of these items that are listed here are quite dangerous to be put into the ears, so you don't put it. Now, the best option or answer for this question is the cotton board. And then you need to be very careful too when using the cotton board. We have a whole lot of fakes out there, so you need to buy the one that is very good, so before you can put them in your ears, and you don't just use them randomly. So the cotton board is one item that is best for cleaning the ears. Now let's look at the next question. Okay, let's look at this question. Human beings have hair on/in the following area except. Now, A, we have palm, we have B, armpit, C, we have leg, we have D, head. Then for E, we have nose. So where, we talked about hair, and then where we can find hairs in our body. So where can we find hair in our body? And look at all the options here. We can find hair in our armpits, we can find hair on our legs for some persons, not everybody. Then for our head, we have hairs there. Then for the nose, like I said, we have nose that help filter filter dirt and dirt that can actually go into our nose. So the option there that is not an answer is the palm, because we don't actually have hairs grow on our palm. So the palm is the answer for that question. Okay, let's look at this question. The complete set of an adult teeth are dashed in numbers. How many are they? Are they 16? Are they 22, 34, 36, 32? Do you remember that? We talked about it today. So the answer here is E, so it's 32. The complete set of an adult teeth is what? 32 in number. Thank you for participating in today's class. You can practice more questions using the ExamGuide app. Now, the app scores and gives a detailed explanation of all the questions at the end of your practice tests. You can learn a particular topic of interest with different modes like the study mode, mock mode, and practice mode. It also has other features that make learning fun. It is a must-have for every serious student. I know you're that serious student. Now you can download the app from www.examguide.com. If you don't have it yet, please do. Now, see you in our next class. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and share the videos to your friends, your family. I'm sure they'll benefit from it as well. Bye for now.